spoke honestly? What if we 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 spoke honestly?
Today's subject is social media influencers, and joining me on today's show is Miss Mode.
Good afternoon.
Hi. An influencer is someone who has the power to affect others. Their purchasing decisions because of their authority, their knowledge, the position, or a relationship they may have with their audience. An influencer has the following in a distinctive niche with whom they actively engage. The size of the following depends on the popularity of their niche. Influencers in social media have built a reputation for their knowledge and expertise on a specific topic. Now, people may have a different perspective of an influencer, how they do things, why they do things, and may feel that they may be doing what they're doing as influencers for the wrong reasons. The question is, what does an influencer actually do?
Well, I think if you break down influencer to influence to someone, or whether it's a crowd of people or one person, I think we all have some form of influence that we give to other people. But obviously on the social media side, it's just on a platform that a lot of people gravitate to. It might be something of their interest. So if I'm interested in fitness and diet, you will see certain personal trainers or well-being experts who can give you advice and stuff on that subject, and then you just gravitate to that and you start following them, and then they just show you a range of different things that you feel inspired by. Now for me on that side, I get it, because I follow a few fitness people, and I have seen some of them that are, to me, like genuine social influencers.
Okay.
And when I mean genuine, like they are really about telling you, if you want to lose weight, this is the exercises you need to do. If you need to gain weight, this is what you need to do, and so forth. But you do get some people who are, I don't know if I'm saying the right word, like a gimmick for them, because
so with regards to that influencer, with regards to fitness, I can understand that. And being in the current climate that we're in, I'd understand it even more. However, there are other niches that I don't understand and I just don't get.
Well, I think because we live in a society of visual, it's all about visual. No one's I wouldn't say no one, but there's a lot of people who don't really have time to read words. They prefer to see visual and see what's going on. Obviously, the other side, yes, you do have some social influencers who it's all about their body and how they look, and when they look a particular way. For example, if you have a big bottom and you're very shapely, there's a lot of men and women who are attracted to that, and they will gravitate to that.
So would you? So would you say that that's a negative influencer, or would you say it's a positive influencer? Because obviously,
Go on.
they're gravitating to something, and I'm going to put it this way: it's a sexual influencer.
Yeah.
Because obviously they're showing private areas. So for me, in society, how is it perceived? Because obviously social media is quite open to everyone. We have, and when I say open to everyone, we have all different age groups tapping into that vehicle. So my thing is, somebody who's young and has tapped into this influencer that is showing areas that aren't within their age can have a negative effect on those individuals, because some children will think, well, if she's doing this and she's got so many followers, because it seems to be about followers, I can do this and I can have the same attention on myself. Now, for me, that falls into two categories, because it's profiling yourself, but yet there is a negative connotation attached to that. And if the wrong eyes see that, you could be influencing the wrong people in the wrong way. So my question prior was, what does an influencer do?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, an influencer is somebody who spends all their time on social media.
Yeah, on social media side, but it's to me, it's like it's an actual full-time job.
But a lot of people think that that's all that they do, but it's not really that. I mean, yeah, they're out there influencing people, but their main objective isn't just to be on social media doing unnecessary things. It is, like you said, a job. So therefore, people and how they get paid is for whatever they're influencing for, would be how they get gratified or gratuities.
Because it's a thing of where you, especially like a platform like Instagram, for example, you more or less go on there because you have a brand or a product, or it could just be something socially for you. It depends on how you use Instagram. But obviously, because we're touching on social influencers, they have a brand or a product that they want to advertise and get people from all over the world to see what they have, and whether it's an actual physical product or it's something that can benefit you, or it's something,
a service or something,
on a service or something on a sexual side, as you mentioned before. But there is negative and positive with being an influencer.
Okay.
Yes, it can boost up your brand. You can get people to buy into your products or your service that you're advertising, or it can be on a level as I was touching on about, exposing or showing certain parts of your body that will gravitate to a certain demographic. For me, now, I might be the odd one out with this, but I always wonder, like, for those men and women who tend to expose their body sexually, and they do that on a regular basis. For me, it's like, how does that influence me? For example, would that influence me? No, it wouldn't, because me personally, I don't have no interest in that. But there's others who are interested in that.
Yeah.
Now, you can go back to back in our times, like the 80s and 90s, we had the newspaper called The Sun.
Yeah.
And what was on page 3?
Page 3, exactly.
You had these models with their boobs exposed. And there's a lot of men and women who knew them by name.
Yeah.
Because they were constantly in there, you know, either every day or once a week, they're in there. But I don't know, like, they always say with social media itself, there is balance. There is negative side, there's a positive side.
Yeah.
But my understanding, I don't know how you do this all day, every day, especially on the sexual side.
Yeah, well, I think with that market, that there would be that need to do that on a regular basis, because you've got to keep your audience engaged. However, with other niches or products or services, the need isn't so much, because that's with any sexual thing, there's always that requiring that constant engagement.
Yeah.
With a product now, is you, be it a piece of clothing or a line of clothing, you do your modeling, you do whatever you do, you know, you talk about the product. That there's only so much you can do with that.
Pause on that.
Okay.
There's I think in all aspects of whether it's product, brand or service, there is a high demand.
Okay.
So for example, throughout this lockdown, for example, I've gotten into more about doing my nails.
Okay.
Because now the nail shops are closed, I'm like, oh, what am I doing with my nails? I went and done research, looked at, you know, stuff on Instagram on which people to follow, and I just typed up about nails and just looked at what they were doing and just started to follow them. But when you look at their followers, they do have a lot of followers.
Yeah.
It's just how you brand your product.
Yeah. So really and truly, it's just advertising. Technically speaking, influencers are advertisers.
It's advertising your brand. You know,
whatever you have, your niche, whatever your niche is.
It's a form of advertising.
Okay. But
because it's visual, it's something that you're seeing. Eventually, for some, they want you to invest and buy their product.
Yeah.
Because whether it's clothing, makeup, anything beauty-wise, especially with the makeup industry, they're all on there. And then you've got these makeup influencers as well.
Okay.
Who test out different makeup and stuff, and then they would actually do a review and say, well, yeah, this product is good because A, B, and C.
But
they have, go on.
So, but the thing is, like, how has it come to this? Because, like you said, okay, back in the 80s, 90s, we didn't have this. Now we've got technology, and now we have a lockdown. Things have gone tenfold. It's where we didn't have them, and now it's just saturated with them. I know it's a social media thing that's caused it, but is it just people not having anything to do that's causing them to go out and become influencers? What does it take to be an influencer? Where do you get the ideas to be an influencer? I know that.
Go on. Go on.
Like with celebrities, I know there are quite a number of celebrities who are influencers, but that would make sense to me. But the everyday person being an influencer doesn't really resonate in my head as much as a celebrity doing it.
I think it's to do with the time, the generation, the time that we're living in.
Yeah.
We're living in a world that is more or less built around
technology,
social media and technology. More or less everybody has a smartphone.
Yeah.
When anybody gets a smartphone, they're downloading the social media platforms, and not necessarily just, you know, your Facebook and Instagram. You've got TikTok. You've got all these other, you know, Snapchat. You've got all these other platforms that people go to and sign up for and use.
Yeah.
And they are influencers on there as well. It's a thing of where as I said, it's the time that we're living in.
Yeah.
The time of where for us to see something advertised, it would have been on TV, radio, in your newspaper or leaflet coming through your door.
Indeed.
Right? But because how fast technology has just come in, and then because of this lockdown now, because obviously, don't get me wrong, before lockdown, everybody was more out and about, going to different places here, there and everywhere. But because we've been in this lockdown for so long, people are now being more comfortable being on their phone, at home or wherever. Well, they'll mostly be at home because you've got to stay home. And they'll just be on that because you can't go and see your friends and family. You can't go to cinema or restaurants or any.
So you're kind of restricted. So you have to be creative with your time
now. Yeah, so you've been restricted and you're being more restricted now.
Yeah,
because you can't meet your friends.
But do you? Do you feel that with regards to celebrities, do you think that this whole thing has really been, the everyday people have just tapped into this because they've seen the successes of celebrities? Because it just wasn't there like that on the level that it is now. I get that, we're in a lockdown and, we can't do things the way we knew we're doing it. And there's, internet and there's social media. But no one was doing this before on this level. So what is it?
I think the level that they were using it on was more, I think, when, like YouTube, for example.
Yeah.
I think people see themselves as creators now.
Okay.
They're creative people. They see a market which is there, and what you've got to realise, these platforms are free.
Yeah.
So you're free to advertise
whatever
you want. Yeah. I could come out with a brand saying I'm going to make these certain types of cups.
Yeah.
And I can just start doing it. A lot of people through lockdown has started up businesses and now has used these platforms to get more people to look at their stuff, buy their stuff, and that's how they're able to make a little money.
In some aspects, it's great because obviously people have found creativeness in themselves. People, obviously, due to job restrictions and due to lack of pay, it's caused people to think outside of the box, which is a good thing. Mm-hmm. I must add. And they're being...
That's what I'm saying, the balance. Yeah. The balance, But as you were saying regarding to the celebrities, I haven't been on Instagram that long, so I don't know what it was like when it first started out. I'm assuming maybe it had celebrities on there at first, and then now that us regular people have gone on there and followed them, we've set up our own accounts and seeing that they have all these followers and thinking, well, why can't I have the same?
Because that's for me, that's the general consensus that I'm seeing. It's like celebrities doing it, they're making it, they're breaking it, they're doing. But for me, celebrities are connected in a different way. They're celebrities. Now I find that we have normal people. When I say normal people, I mean they're not highfalutin celebrities, or they're just regular individuals doing 9 to 5 jobs, unable to do a 9 to 5 now, and now they're trying to be creative with what they're doing. But I feel that it's like clothing. If you're in America, you dress a certain way, you do things a certain way, then people tap into it, they follow it, they see it, they like it, they do it.
Yeah.
So
a prime example is a brand called Fashion Nova.
Yes. Fashion
Nova just came out of nowhere, and it's like you've got. Because now we've got like reality stars now. They see themselves as some form of celebrity, innit? Right? But I categorize them as reality stars, not celebrities. I feel there's a difference.
Okay.
Right? For me, celebrities are actors, musicians.
I'd agree.
That. But I feel like those who are on those reality shows, they are reality stars, and that's what you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, some may get that chance to go on to do like a Hollywood film or something.
Yeah.
But I still see you as a reality star. But even to that, like the whole thing of Big Brother, when Big Brother came out, that came out of nowhere. And then now, because now we live in that kind of
time.
Big Brother society now, it's like anybody can be a celebrity right now.
Yeah.
Anybody. Because even those social influencers, they are somewhat a form of a celebrity.
Yeah.
To a certain degree.
Yeah. How many followers does it take or do you need to be an influencer?
Well, I know on Instagram you've got to have a certain amount of followers to get this blue tick against your name or something, because apparently the blue tick is the holy grail. Like once you got the blue tick, it's just like, yeah, you made it kind of thing. But I think you have to have a certain amount of followers, and I think there's a process where you can apply for it or something like that. I'm not too clear on it. I'm not 100%. You know, maybe someone could send a message in and let us know what the whole protocol is on that blue tick.
Yeah.
But you have a certain amount of followers. I think like maybe 10,000 or 15,000 upwards.
Yeah, I was doing a bit of research, and a mega influencer has as many followers on social network as like 1 million.
Oh yeah.
On a platform, and like often 1 million more and more.
More, yeah.
Now for me, that's amazing.
It is.
Providing whatever you're influencing or whatever product you are influencing, then it's a good thing. But then if your product is something that's quote unquote negative, it's a bad thing.
Yeah, but I would say that's for us, but other people won't see it that way.
Yeah, I get that.
They won't. They would just see it as, yeah, that person's popular, I'm going to follow them because, yeah, they've done this or whatever, and then, you know, they're just going to keep seeing what's happening next. It's always what's next, what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, I would say for this whole social media thing itself, nothing really marinates.
Yeah.
Nothing really stays for long. It's like they're always looking for the next
something new. I guess it's about being different and being outside of that box and attracting new audience. And so if you're doing something different, then followers are going to follow you. You know, if you're doing what everyone else is doing, then you're not really, there's so many of you, why do I need to follow you, kind of thing.
Right, so that's where it comes with that niche. If you've got that niche that you know that you're going to get followers, you know that you're going to get people to like or to purchase or to be involved, get involved, or they've got it, they've done it.
And it's really weird because there are actually categories of influencers which I wasn't even aware of.
Wow.
Based on your following.
Yeah.
So then you've got the nano influencers, which is fewer than 1,000 followers. You've got the micro influencers between 1,000 and 40,000 followers, and then you've got the mega, which is over 1 million. I mean, like, this is like a business.
See, that's all new to me because all I just knew about was people following you or you following them, and you got people just liking your stuff.
It's crazy.
I didn't even know it was in categories.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I'm saying, this is a business.
Yeah.
This is an influence business.
So that's the thing as well. So it's like, for me, if someone was creating a business, I feel that these are the platforms you need to be on.
Yeah.
Because remember, this platform is worldwide. You're going to get people from the most remote places to the most popular places in the world. Do you know what I mean? You're going to get that following.
Yeah. Another question that people may think or wonder: how does an influencer get paid?
That's a question that people wonder, what do you do to get what you get? You're always dressed nice. But I don't think people really understand what it takes to be an influencer, Obviously, they don't physically get paid. However, they do get sponsored. They advertise products, they do videos, they do branding and stuff like that. They got ebooks and photos and videos. They do a lot of other things other than physically getting money, but they get gratuities for what they do.
I think it's more or less of all, because people do get paid for advertising their products.
Oh, they do?
And what they would usually do is I'm going to talk for Instagram, when they post an advertisement for a brand that they've been paid to advertise, they would actually put at the top that this is a paid advertisement. Celebrities as well, they would have it on there. So they do get paid.
Okay, that's good. That's good to hear, because obviously, go ahead.
No, because it's like people, as I said, there's people who make a living from doing whatever they do on Instagram.
Yeah,
they don't actually have a job on the side. Like, they don't have their 9 to 5 and then they come on to social media or whichever platform they're on and start doing that like it's a hustle. No, that's what I'm saying. That's their job.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of people don't actually understand what it is to be an influencer. So you do get people saying things that seem a bit too far-fetched, and it's like they're disrespecting those people who are that way inclined, who are influencers. But when you don't understand something, you kind of have a negative thought about it until you understand a bit more. And I think it's important that people do actually do a little bit of research on these people who are influencers. Don't get me wrong, there's good and bad in everything. So therefore, you are going to get influencers who are doing things for the right reasons, and you're going to get people being an influencer for the wrong reasons. And not to say that it's the wrong reason, it's just not fitting to you. And I think it's very important that you understand what it is they do, because my understanding wasn't as good as it is now. So I get it a bit more than I did to start with. And based on the current climate we're in, it's needed, because there's nothing for anyone to do. People are trying to be creative, trying to be entrepreneurs, start up their own businesses. There's no funding. And when you look at all those dynamics and you put them all into the mix, it's understandable why people have become, and how so many people are now doing this, because there is no other option for them.
Yeah, I think the percentage has kind of skyrocketed with more people doing whatever on these social media platforms. I don't know if it's a generation thing, or I could be wrong, but I don't know if I could, unless it's a brand or a product that I'm selling. On the side of where, you get these, as they call them, the Insta bots, and it's abbreviated to D's over there. I won't say the one, but I'm sure people understand what I'm talking about. I don't know how you could do that all the time, every day, all day. Because I will get... Now, I'm thinking, is it because you get the exposure and the people following you? Or is it because you get paid a lot for advertisements? Or is it for the ads being sponsored by people?
You see, I think everyone's driven by different things. And when I say that... it takes a certain kind of person to do things for the wrong reasons, and it takes a certain kind of person to do things for the right reasons. And it's all about need or want. And I think most of the time it's about wanting to be up there with the Joneses. And because they can't physically do it without something, sometimes they take it to another level by gravitating to certain things. And sometimes they get so deep in, it's hard for them to get back out, because now they've received funds, things that's that they weren't able to get before, and then it's like an addiction. It becomes like an addiction for them, and then they don't know how to get out, because now the greed has taken over the reality.
Right, because then I'm thinking, like, what, as an influencer, social media influencer, like, how does that impact you mentally? Because you, as you'll say, it's like you couldn't just, if you've got 1 million followers or 500,000 followers, you can't just say, all right, then tomorrow I'm just going to stop and get on with my life. Or maybe you can, but all that stuff that you're getting from it, is that why you keep on doing it? Because you know you're going to get these things, designer where people are going to send you, bags or clothing or something, just so you can advertise their
products.
Their product.
Yeah. Do you know what it's, I think, is a bit of greed. It's a bit of not having, and now you're so sucked into this, you're not thinking rationally. You're not thinking about the negative or the repercussions of your actions. You're just in it for the here and now. I have seen certain comments on other social media where people, their influencing account may have got blocked or for one reason or another, and their responses were, it's like their life came to an end. Mm-hmm. Now that's because you've become dependent on that thing that you're doing. So now that that's gone, you're lost.
You just don't have no backup plan. It's like you just assumed, and I think that it's a bit naive.
Of course.
Them as well, because you're not thinking of the backup plan. You're thinking of the right now. Like right now, I'm getting all these things. Right now, I'm getting, to sponsor these stuff, or I'm getting sponsored by this brand, or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking for like the younger generation, or even those who are teenagers or in primary school. If there isn't already, there needs to be some form of social studies that tackles this, and gives them a heads up on how to use the social media platform properly. And that regardless, just because you might look a certain way doesn't mean you need to go down that avenue to get that attention, because you should be more or less taught to be confident enough where you might not need to go down that route. But as I said, we live in a society where sex sells, right?
And
there's a lot of it.
And it's really funny because you've just touched on something, confidence. Now, we have individuals that sometimes can't string up a conversation, but they can happily go onto social media and it's like they're completely different people. It's like that attention brings out a different person in them. For me, that's quite troubling. Because take away that something, that social media, that influencer doing what they do in their niche, what is their mental status when they're not doing that?
Well, that's interesting because, there's times where, Facebook may be down, Instagram's down, you can't do nothing for maybe an hour or half the day.
Yeah.
And it's like people just don't know what to do with themselves.
They're like headless chickens.
They're like,
Yeah.
They'd be checking or messaging their friend, oh, is your Facebook down? Is your da-da-da? And I'm like, well, why are you so bothered? Like, it will come back up eventually. Like,
See, for
just
me,
get on with something else.
for me, that's an addiction.
Yeah, and I feel that a lot of us are addicted to social media.
Yeah, and
Whether it's to influence or just
And
to use it socially.
as much as we may not believe it, we're all influenced in one thing or another, or many things. And phone influencers are probably the worst ones because they advertise. You know, you go and get that phone, you're attached to that phone, you don't put that phone down, you go to sleep with that phone, you wake up, you go to the bathroom with that phone. It's like, having talked about this,
It's like it's a part of you.
it's exactly, so you're influenced by a phone, not a person, but the person's the one that's driving that phone to you. So it's very interesting, like having the conversation, because it's making you think a little bit more out of the box, because you don't really see things for what they are until you're actually in it. And it's only when you question it, then you realize, oh my God, yeah, I'm also an influenced person, because I am feeling that I need to do something because of something. And that's even more worrying, because we all fall into the category, but we just don't necessarily see it for what it is.
See it. Yeah.
But we're quick to judge when we see something that doesn't suit us. So we're all as bad as each other, technically speaking, because at some point we've all been influenced by something, but because someone else is doing something that we're not interested in, we therefore cast a judgment, or we don't like. Just like we discussed about the derriere. You know, someone showing their derriere is not pleasing on our eye, and it's not something that we're interested in seeing. Something sexual doesn't please us because it's not something that we're into, because we don't want to see those things on those kind of platforms. However, everyone is attracted to something, somewhere, somehow.
Yeah.
And it's quite scary, because obviously there's different levels. And these different levels just shows how much more addictive you are to this thing.
Yeah. And I think it goes with, like, for me, for example, I follow a lot of musicians, artists. So remember they've got this thing called algorithms, where certain things that you may be interested in, they will show you as a sponsored ad, for example.
Yeah.
So if you're into a certain type of genre of music, you will just see something pop up from nowhere and you're thinking, well, where's that come from?
Yeah.
But it's something that you may be interested in.
Yeah, something, and that's the most peculiar. If you don't understand that, you know, it's like, well, I just looked for that the other day, so why is this all popping up? But it's understanding and knowing what's going on in the background.
Yeah. But would you say that being on these social media platforms, whichever one you're on, do you think you've been influenced by any of them on the platforms that you are on? Or do you just, like, you know, you just go on there, you see things, you may like it, and that's that, and then just come off?
For me, I'm a bit selective. I'm not one of these people who likes things just willy-nilly. Would have to interest me. That could be talk shows, that could be historical discussions, it could be I'll probably say that things that would benefit me are the things that I would actually more gravitate to. You know, educational things, you know, exercise things. So at some point, I have been influenced by an influencer.
Right, yeah.
Whether I would say I have an addiction, I would say no. However, the influencer of mobile phones has got me because I need my phone. I feel that I need my phone. I feel that I need to check my phone. I feel the need to put umpteen apps on my phone to allow me to be able to do everything with this phone. So for me, if anyone was to say there was an addiction, the addiction would be to my phone.
Yeah.
And that's as a result of an influencer engaging and getting me to focus on a phone. That now, you know, if I leave the phone somewhere, I'm wondering where the phone is, which is unhealthy.
Yeah, and I think that's where some people tend to, you know, especially on the social, because we're talking about social media influencers, but with social media, they take a break from social media.
Yes, and I get it.
And I get it as well. Yeah. I totally understand why. Because the thing is, like for me, I am on social media, but it's how I use it and what I use it for.
Yeah.
I'm not going on there just to write up statuses, for example, if I'm on Facebook or Twitter. I'm not doing all that. I find that too consuming.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'll leave it as that. For me, instead of me watching news on the TV, you know, I see it on social media. So then I tend to read up on stuff and then share it. Yeah. I don't really, if someone put up a status about something, I don't necessarily comment on it.
No.
For me, I feel like I don't need to.
Yeah, for me,
there's some form of, sorry to cut you, there's some form of attention seeking to this whole social thing, right?
Most definitely.
And I know that I've seen it.
Yeah.
And I look at that and I'm like, wow, okay, like you're really trying to get that attention.
Yeah, for me, I'm not really into social media, but I'm required to utilize social media because of things that I do.
Yeah.
Had I not, or am I not doing those things, my need and want to do social media is more or less zero. If I don't have to physically go onto Instagram or Facebook to publicize or advertise something that I am doing for my business, then no, I would not go onto Instagram or Facebook. However, being in the creative industry, that's where your vehicles and that's where your traffic come and go.
Comes from, yeah.
So therefore you have to be in it to be a part of it, to gain from it.
But I feel for some of us, as I said, it's about how we use it.
Yeah.
There's people who just need to be on social media to see what's going on, what's the latest, they need that.
Yeah.
I think more or less with you, because I'm part of a brand that uses that.
Yes.
Uses those platforms. Yeah, of course I've got to be on there.
Exactly.
Obviously, when I do my show, I've got to know certain things to put on my show.
Yeah.
So yes, I will do that. But for general social, for me just to relax,
no,
not really.
No,
not really.
Yeah.
Because as I said, I don't put up statuses.
Yeah.
I think the nearest status might be something that I may be watching, and I feel like other people should be watching it.
Yeah. So you're more or less sharing information as opposed to trying to be an influencer.
Yeah, because I don't really engage with what people put up.
No.
It has to really be something of real interest
for you to actually gravitate to it.
Yeah, I'm going to put my little 10 pence in about that subject or that status. Apart from that, I see loads of people put up stuff. I just scroll past.
Yeah, I mean that like and stuff it's very, very interesting how controlled people actually are.
Yeah, by those
and
likes,
how
like when they get these likes, it's like they've got money.
Yeah, they struck gold.
Like every like is £1
yeah.
or something, and then it's like, well, I've got 1,000 likes, or I've got 10,000 likes, or I've got 500 likes. Like you've got £500. Like
that is quite worrying, because that says a lot about your self-esteem, and that's more of a mental issue. You know, that someone liking your profile or not liking your profile actually affects your self-esteem.
Right, and the amount of people. So when people are saying, "Oh yeah, you know what? I've got 20,000 followers," and da da da, I'm like, okay.
So do you feel that maybe we're buying, as individuals, we're buying into this social media thing a bit too much? I know it's the times that we live in, but would you say that the balance is off scale?
I mean, I only can talk for myself.
Yeah.
For me, having likes and people following me is not important to me.
Yeah.
It's not. You know, for a brand that I'm working with, yeah, obviously it would be, but
it's different, yeah.
For me, just for me, like no, I'm not really bothered by if you follow me or I maybe because I'm not from that generation.
Yeah. With regards to like the followers and stuff like that, and obviously thinking about influencers. Now, having a brand, you need followers.
Yeah.
Having a brand, you follow. Now, I find that people are very much focused on the followers, which I get, because obviously the more followers that you have, even as a brand, as an individual, means that your product is being looked at, or you're being looked at. So, but when an individual has followers, and it's affecting them, I feel that it should be affecting the business if there are less followers than if an individual has less followers. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
So you're kind of saying like the brand versus the person itself.
Yeah. So,
but then again, the person can be the brand.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, take away the person being a brand and just say that they're just an individual. Why is it so important for you to have followers as an individual over you having a business and having followers? So for me, it's like, that's once again saying a lot about the individual. That they lack something. They lack self-esteem, confidence, and those things. That something like that, and it's trivial in my eyes, because having 20,000 followers doesn't quantify who you are. Doesn't quantify your brand either.
Well,
it's just people.
You know, you say that, but for others, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
It is a real thing, whether you're young or old. Like it's what they depend on. But I just know for myself, I don't know, maybe not like everybody has their level of a mental state where it can make you or break you.
Yeah.
As in, I think if you put so much into this, like hardcore into social media influencing, and then something happens where, as you said before, your account gets blocked and you no longer have those 10,000 followers, and then you would have to start a new account again and start all over again. Because remember, you got to remember, there's hackers as well, you know.
Indeed.
There's hackers out there who can hack your account, and then you've got to start that process
all over again.
Yeah. Now imagine what that is doing to that individual's mental state.
Yeah.
Because they feel, as well as I may feel like being on a social media platform is just, I would say it's just for social things. People have their brands, their products, etc. But that's how they make their money, business.
Yeah.
That's their business on there.
Exactly.
And it's like your business has been just taken away from you, just like that, overnight.
This is my point. You see, this is what I'm saying about businesses versus an individual. Like, there is no real loss for an individual's perspective if they don't have a product per se. Now, from a business perspective, if that is where your traffic is and your only traffic, then I get it.
Yeah.
However, if that's only just a market that you're using along with a number of other markets, then that's a different story. So followers don't mean anything, because unless followers are actually turning into customers, then
like what are they there for then?
You're not actually benefiting other than making your profile look a certain way. And that is more for personal.
What's interesting as well is like you have all these followers, and I'm thinking, well, why not be creative and create something? Because then you having those 10,000
utilize
people,
them.
Utilize it, whether you're selling a cup, t-shirt, artwork, whatever.
See, but the thing is, there's marketing, all right? People are okay to market other people's, but they don't realise what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they don't realise they should be marketing themselves within that product. So when that product is removed, then you do have nothing. That's the point when you realise, oh, I want to go out and do something that benefits me, because as much as I may be receiving goods and items and, getting likes, they don't pay the bills.
No, but what's interesting though is that I've heard people say something along the lines of, if I get all these followers, I don't need to work.
But how?
Because I get
gratuities.
Yes. So
basically, gratuities are more important than actual everyday living your life, being able to pay your bills.
Yes, for some of them, yes. Because I've seen stories of, as I said, some person account got blocked and they were crying on another social media platform saying, what am I going to do now? I don't have my Instagram account no more. They blocked my account. I can't use it no more. What am I going to do now? And when I looked at that, I was like, what do you mean? What are you going to do now? But you've sucked up that Instagram so much.
Yeah, it's consumed you.
You consumed it so much. You didn't even have something on the side.
Contingency.
God forbid, if something happened, I've got this in place.
Yeah.
And this is where I go back to where in schools they need to have a social studies session where they talk about this, so they can prepare these young children, because once they hit 16 or late teens or whatever, they want to be on these
and younger. And younger, because remember, I mean, obviously everything's done via Google and things like that. You're more adventurous, you're more, inquisitive, you're trying to tap into things, you're seeing things on people's phones, so you're inquisitive, you want to find out what this is, and most of these children know how to get around it, even though you have to be age of 18 to get into them. They put false date of births in and stuff so they can access these things.
Yeah.
Very interesting subject.
It's interesting, but I would say that that is definitely needed, or for parents to have conversations with their children, giving them the pros and cons of being on these platforms.
Yeah. If there was anything you wanted to share with those people that are affected or are not affected by social media influencers, what would it be?
What I can say is that social media is a great thing. The internet is a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
But to me, it's just how you use it and what you're using it for, and to be very mindful of your mental state. Yeah. If you feel that you're doing something and your gut feeling's like, nah, I shouldn't be doing that, then you shouldn't be doing it. Because maybe you need to focus on something else. There's some other creative juices elsewhere that you can tap into.
Yeah.
I would encourage, and maybe I should take my own medicine as well, is taking breaks from social media.
Yeah.
Even if you can't do it like for a week, maybe just a weekend with no social media. Take that weekend to focus on yourself, your self-care, your mental state, and keep at it.
Yeah.
I know for some it will be probably difficult, because if it's your business, you've got to be on there all the time. But I would say try and take a day.
Yeah.
Half a day even, and just take your mind off of that.
Yeah. My thoughts are, we're in a time where social media more or less dictates how we do and how we don't do things. Social media has people that highlight and bring things to our attention that maybe we weren't paying attention to before. But it's all about having a balance, understanding what you're getting involved in, understanding how this impacts you and how it affects you physically, mentally. It's about gain, it's about understanding, it's about development. Living in the times now where modern technology kind of rules, it's important that we understand what we're getting into and why we're getting into it. Once we have those basic things, being influenced for the wrong reasons is going to narrow down shortly, somewhat, and being influenced for the right things will only do one thing but better your journey in life. You have to be mindful that these things that are surrounding us and that we're utilizing, using, they have their benefits and they have their downfalls. So it's important that when you're engaging in certain industries and certain products and services, that you understand what you're getting involved in. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for tuning into today's show. Today's subject was social media influencers. Good night. God bless.
What if we spoke honestly? 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 Bye.